Hi, welcome to the channel. If you are new here, I am Jen and I am delighted to meet you. We have talked a lot on this channel about very personal topics like my weight, my skin, my health, my poop, but today we're actually getting even more personal. We are going to talk about birth control, specifically about what I use for natural birth control now that I'm off all medications, including birth control medications. Just to give you a little background, I was on the pill for about 5 years in my 20s, and then I had the Mirena IUD for about 10 years. Once I saw how powerful changing my diet could be to get off all the medications I was on for years for my psoriasis, I just decided to go all in and get off all medications, including birth control. It's a very personal decision, of course, but the pill and the IUD both contain hormones which affect a woman's normal monthly cycle, and so I just didn't want to do that to myself anymore. Plus, I currently want to prevent pregnancy, but I definitely want to get pregnant in the hopefully near future. I want to be able to make that switch immediately with no downtime, and using a natural birth control method will help me to do that. So after quite a bit of research, I ended up finding an option called Natural Cycles. It's the first FDA-cleared birth control app that does not involve any hormones and does not have any side effects. Natural Cycles works by analyzing your body temperature along with other fertility signs such as cervical mucus, breast tenderness, and luteinizing hormone surges to tell you when you're fertile and when you're likely not. A little bit of background information that's helpful here is that menstruating women have a biphasic temperature pattern. That means that during the first phase of their menstrual cycle, their temperature is relatively low, and during the last phase, it's relatively high. This is all related to hormone shifts. Here's a photo that I found on Wikipedia to show you what I mean for a hypothetical menstruating woman. You can see that during the follicular phase, which is the time from day 1 of her period to ovulation, temperatures are relatively low. Temperature increases right around ovulation, and then the time from ovulation to the next period is called the luteal phase, and during that time, temperatures remain high. Just FYI, the elevated temperatures are related to an increase in progesterone levels, which progesterone and body temperature remain high if you're pregnant, but then they decrease again if you get your period. The Natural Cycles app uses your daily morning temperature readings in order to track your specific cycle, because we can't just assume that every woman has a 28-day cycle where ovulation occurs on day 14. We women are much more unique and bio-individual than that. There are a few methods you can use to measure your temperature each day for the Natural Cycles app. One way is to simply use a thermometer. Apple Watch Series 8 or later also tracks temperature, but my Apple Watch is an older version, so I've never actually used it for that. I can't tell you how accurate it is. I actually use an Oura ring, O-U-R-A, and I love this thing for tracking my sleep, my stress, my recovery from activity, but my number one favorite thing about it is that it tracks my temperature and integrates seamlessly with the Natural Cycles app. Each morning I wake up, sync my Oura ring data to the Natural Cycles app, and go on about my day. Here are some examples of what my temperature graph for a full menstrual cycle looks like. It's not as perfectly textbook looking as the graph you saw from Wikipedia, but you can clearly see that my temperatures are lower between menstruation and ovulation and higher between ovulation and my next period. Based on your body temperatures, the app's algorithm predicts when ovulation will occur as well as when you'll have your period, and it gives a reliable estimation of which days you're fertile and which days you likely are not. You can then use that information to prevent or achieve pregnancy depending on your personal fertility goals. As far as effectiveness, which of course you should know that, IUDs are the most effective method of birth control, but Natural Cycles is very comparable to other typical methods, including condoms, birth control pills, and things like the Nuva ring. There are actually many fertility signs that you can track in the Natural Cycles app, but the ones that I consistently track are my body temperature, cervical mucus, and luteinizing hormone readings, which in the future in this video I might say LH readings, same thing. Based on the algorithm, the app suggests when it would be helpful to test for an LH surge, which helps predict even more reliably your exact time of ovulation. This is nice to know now, but it will be super helpful information as soon as I'm ready to try getting pregnant. I buy inexpensive LH strips from Amazon and take a picture of the results directly within the Natural Cycles app. The app analyzes the picture to determine if it's a positive reading for luteinizing hormone or not. Just to give you an idea of what that looks like, here are the results from the last 4 days that I tested for an LH surge this month. The first 3 days only have one red line indicating that my luteinizing hormone hadn't surged yet, but the last one has an additional very dark red line indicating that LH surge, that luteinizing hormone surge. That information, along with temperature readings and cervical mucus, provide very accurate information about exactly when I'm ovulating. I know that's a lot of info, so here I just want to break down for you my top 10 favorite things that I love most about using Natural Cycles for my birth control. Number one, I can use it to prevent pregnancy now, but then I can immediately switch to using the information to get pregnant the moment I'm ready. There is no downtime. At that point, I'll actually switch modes within the app from birth control to planned pregnancy. And that will tell me peak fertility days so I can be sure and have intercourse on those days. According to their website, women using natural cycles to achieve pregnancy get pregnant within an average of 3 cycles, which is about twice as fast as those not using the app. This is something I'm super excited about. Number 2, it gives me tons of information about my hormones and my cycle and has helped me to make changes to my diet and lifestyle to work toward my fertility goals. For example, when I first started tracking, I learned that my luteal phase, that second part of the cycle, was only lasting 9 to 10 days, which is really too short to reliably achieve pregnancy. I made some diet and lifestyle changes to support my hormones, and now my luteal phase lasts 12 to 13 days, which is much more appropriate for getting pregnant. Spoiler alert, if you haven't been following me, the diet change I've made has been with the carnivore diet. Number 3, I love feeling so connected to my cycle and knowing how it all works. That's weird, I know, but I guess I'm that girl now. Number 4, I'm not putting artificial hormones into my body anymore. That's enough for me to be super excited about. Number 5, I don't have to remember to take a pill every day or go to the doctor every so often to have my IUD removed and another one replaced. And I actually had a really horrible experience every time I had to get an IUD in or out, to the point that it had to be done with sonogram because, I don't know, I messed up, I guess, but it was not good. And I don't ever want to have to do that again. Number 6, it's inexpensive. I pay $120 a year for natural cycles, and you can actually use money from your flex spending account or health savings account to pay for it, which is what I do. I do understand that they now work with many insurance companies so that your insurance may pay for it. I personally haven't tried that yet, so I can't say how easy or hard it is, but that's what I'll probably try to do next time. I love Natural Cycles so much that I actually reached out to them and they gave me a special link that you can use to get 20% off a yearly membership plus a free thermometer. Check the caption below this video to see the link. I'll leave it for you there. Number 7, another nice thing is that your partner can actually be just as involved in your pregnancy prevention or achievement as you are. The app has a partner view, so your partner can see your fertility status for each day, so you don't feel like all of the responsibility falls on you. Number 8, it is the easiest type of birth control that you can possibly get. You don't need a prescription, and you don't have to be embarrassed at the store asking the employee to unlock that cabinet with the condoms and hand them to you and then run away like a freak. Okay, I know it's natural, you're not a freak, but I just always hated that every time. Number 9, this one has a caveat. If you have an Oura ring, all you have to remember to do every day is sync your data. You don't have to remember to take a pill. You don't have to get your implantable devices changed however often they need to be changed. And you don't even have to remember to take your temperature before getting out of bed in the morning. The ring just does it for you. And number 10, one of my most favorite side effects from using natural cycles is that I now know exactly what day I'm going to start my period. I know because when I wake up that morning, there's a noticeable temperature drop. That's what tips me off. I didn't have a period for over 10 years when I had an IUD. So once I got it taken out, I was really anxious and struggling with having a period again in my late 30s when the last one I'd had was in my 20s. And so, you know, being caught off guard and getting your period when you're not prepared is embarrassing enough when you're a teenager. But when you're nearly 40, it's got to be worse. So now I never have to worry about that. I check it every morning when it's getting near when I get my period. And then, you know, I see the drop and I say, okay, it's going to be today. And it always is. I realize this seems like a sponsored video for Natural Cycles, but it's not. I just wanted to tell you what I've been using and loving for hormone-free, prescription-free, effective, side effect-free natural birth control. This is not a sponsored video, and they don't even know I'm making this, much less plan to pay me for it, but I will make a small commission if you use my link to purchase it. Let me know in the comments what questions you have, because I've been using Natural Cycles for nearly a year now, and I freaking love it. I would be more than glad to provide any information that you need to get started if this seems like a good fit for you too. In general, if people can be on less medications and more natural ways of living, I want to support you any way I can. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoy content about improving your health by getting off medications and feeding yourself properly, then be sure to subscribe and we will chat later.